Good morning. Welcome to the final week of vlogmas. Starting this one on Sunday, December 20th. Is that right? Because I think this week is just going to be loads and loads of Christmas stuff. In the afternoon, I am hopping on to Zoom for a Christmas party with my best friends from college. We are just going to wear Christmas sweaters and play some games, and that should be exciting. I really have been in the weirdest mood when it comes to reading. I just like I want to be reading, but then I don't feel like reading physically. I don't feel like listening to audiobooks. But last night I was listening to more of Clariel, and I guess I just got to the point where I was really settled into the world, and I got really excited about being back in the old kingdom, and that was really nice. Sorry about my hand being in the frame. Look at this dirty look. You need to be on the other side. Hello! I've got my sister Louisa here with me once again. She's becoming quite a little regular on the show.
Yeah, it's my honor.
She came home, what was it, like 10 days ago, maybe?
About that long.
Something like that. What is time? Yeah, that's... So what we are going to do right now for our little festive thing of the day is we're going to make our favorite cookies. Well, they're my favorite cookies. Are they your favorite? Yeah. They are called Toffee Squares, and they are from this cookbook from my pre-K class, which is pretty adorable. I drew these things. My mom, every time we make them, she's like looking through what the other kids drew, and she's like, Laurelyn, you are a much better artist than the other kids in the class, and I fucking drew this. While we do that, we are going to do the Nosy Librarian tag, because I saw it on Hillary's channel, and I thought that the questions were the weirdest questions I've ever seen in a booktube tag, so I just want to surprise Louisa with some fun questions. Alright, Louisa, so the first question, what has been the most influential library in your life?
I'm caught between my college library. I think actually though first place does go to the Cocoa Beach Library.
Oh.
We used to go to Cocoa Beach, Florida every summer for vacation, and we would usually go to that library, and I can remember really enjoying myself, and like they had like a children's nook with all these giant stuffed animals, and I really liked sitting in there and reading.
For me, I would probably say either the Havre de Grace Library, the town that we lived in when I was like really little, because it was my first library. They used to have a lot of events too. Like I remember one time they had like a Felicity, like Felicity the American Girl doll, like a Felicity party. I don't know why, but we got to go. My mom, of course, took me, and I was like dressed as like a little colonial girl, and we did like cross stitch and like other colonial activities. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I might say actually my local library in Edinburgh, the Stockbridge Library, because that was the first library that I joined as an adult, and it was when I discovered that you could get audiobooks from your library. It's how I started listening to audiobooks, and that was my local library when I started BookTube. So I probably would never have started BookTube if it hadn't been for that library, because I didn't have enough money to constantly buy books. Honest assessment, don't know why it says that. Honest assessment, what will they title your biography?
Oh no. Maybe that. Oh no. How about yours?
Like, I literally have no idea. I have enough trouble, like, naming my own videos.
If I were to write a biography about you, Scott, do you want to go outside? I would probably make it a pun. And it would probably involve dogs.
A dog pun.
A dog pun.
Okay, fair enough.
What's the next one?
It makes no sense. The story from your life that you most hope your librarian won't find out?
What? Like they won't want to let me get books anymore? In like 8th grade, I had to do an art like it was some kind of, yeah, it was a mask report. Like we had a mask project where we had to like pick a type of mask, a cultural mask, to research, and then we had to like try and replicate it. And I remember I checked out some books for that, and I don't think I ever returned to them.
One, I mean, this wasn't a library book, so I don't know if they would actually care, but when I was like 7 or something, I left my copy of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban in a tree. Because I was reading it in a tree and I left it there. Like,
you're like, I'll be right back for this.
And it rained. And then the other one is that in my first job after college, that makes it sound like it was a real job, but it was just like as a summer camp counselor at a day camp. It was at a school, and my boss, she was talking to me about Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli, and she was like, the sequel's really good too, and I was like, oh, I've never read it. And so she just like went to the school library and grabbed me a copy and was like, here, you can take it home to borrow, and I still have it. All right, so number 4 is, what is your favorite word? I know my least favorite word is sucker. It's disgusting.
I think mine is sanguine. I love the way it feels in my hand. So what's
unrealistic standards for eggs. The next question is, 3 weird things of which you are afraid. It's a 2-part question.
Whenever I'm carrying suitcases down the stairs, I'm afraid I'm gonna fall down the stairs. I think that's just because it did happen to me one time. I have a lot of stair-related fears. I don't like spiral staircases. They really make me feel like I'm gonna fall.
I actually feel like I have very few fears in the way people think about fears, but one thing is like, I am desperately afraid of like saying something and having it be factually incorrect.
Yeah.
But then the other things I have, they're not really fears so much as like intrusive thoughts. Sometimes I'll be going about my life and I see myself doing something really horrible, and then I become afraid that I'm gonna do it. One thing is like, if you're in like a department store or just like somewhere where there's a lot of glass, I have a fear that I'm just gonna smash all the glass. Like on purpose?
I have the same fear. You have the realization that like the only thing stopping you from doing that is your own willpower, and you're like, what if that's not enough? Or like you're watching a concert and you're like, I could just stand up and ruin this whole thing for everyone.
Another one that's safe for work.
Don't say that, they'll be like, what did she take out?
I have a fear of like getting my like at the top of an escalator, getting my foot stuck and somehow like getting sucked into the escalator. Like a cartoon.
I think all that would happen is you would fall and it would be painful.
Yeah, I know. I would definitely not get sucked in, but
it's like a mental image.
Yeah. Okay, and then the part 2 of that question, one way which you would prefer not to die.
It's supposed to be related to books?
I would specifically not like to be immolated while sewn into a bear skin.
Oh, yeah. The type of death that scares me the most is, like, that seems one of the worst things to me is drowning, because it apparently, like, I feel like it would take such a long time. Like, you probably pass out after a while, but like it has to be so painful and scary. I would not want to be mistaken for dead, sealed in a crypt, and then have to like claw my way out to strangle my brother, and then my house cracks in 2 and I die that way. I wouldn't want that.
What a guy, that Poe.
Yeah.
What was your favorite book as a grade schooler?
Honestly, if you asked grade school me, it probably would have been a Harry Potter book. My favorite Harry Potter book when I was younger was The Goblet of Fire, until the movie came out.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like the movie. It made me like the book less. But I had liked it before then. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, I probably would have said as Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. What have your interactions with the police been like?
I think actually all of my interactions with the police have been car related. I got in that accident and a police officer showed up and he let me sit in the back of his car, which was nice because we couldn't sit in the car and it was really cold and rainy.
Yeah, I would say, like, for the most part, like, police have been pretty nice to me when I've had to interact with them, except one time. It was nighttime, and I was like 18, or no, I was in college. It was nighttime, and my friend and I were like bored, and we went to a park, and this cop came, and he was like, "How old are you?" Like, to me, and I was like, "I'm like 20," and he was like, "Well, we've got a lot of runaways around here." He was like low-key accusing the guy I was with of kidnapping me. We were literally just using the swings.
That's wild.
It was so weird. Alright, the next question is, what's your all-time favorite book cover? It's hard because I feel like covers only got really beautiful in the last couple of years.
It's true. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I can still say it as like a cover that I really like. Bringing it back to the Mysterious Benedict Society, those covers are always just really fun. How about you?
I really like the British cover of Three Women by Lisa Taddeo with that. Any cover that has like a still life in oils on it is like, hell yeah. I love the cover of Atessa Moshfegh's My Year of Rest and Relaxation.
Oh yeah.
It's a great cover. I think it's so perfect because it's like a real Regency era portrait, but like her face just like is so 2020. I think this is the last question. How many places have you lived?
I have lived in Havre de Grace, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Florida. And you?
Yeah, so I also lived in Havre de Grace, Maryland, and Pennsylvania, and State College, Pennsylvania for college. If we're talking about like individual apartments, I've lived in like fucking thousands of apartments. But in terms of like cities, those three, and then Prague and Edinburgh, and that's all.
That's all.
Okay, and then the last question is just like tag people, but I'm not going to tag anybody because this is a vlog. I hate tagging people in tags because on the one hand, like if I watch somebody else's tag video, first of all, if they tag me and then I don't do it, I feel really bad.
Yeah.
Even though I know there's no pressure and they don't care.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, if it's somebody who I know and I'm like, they like get to the tag part and I'm like, oh, they might tag me, and then they don't, then I'm like, they hate me. So I just tag nobody ever. So even though we're not done with the baking, we have answered all the questions. It's just mixing. Thanks for joining us for Baking with Us, our new cooking show here on Disney Channel.
Like that we both went right at the same time.
Hello. Yes, I am still working on this room. Don't worry about what's behind me. I know there's a lot going on, but my project for this moment is this. I've had this thing for many years, and I always wanted it to be like a light, but I never was able to figure out how to do it. I found these puck lights, which you can turn on like that, like normal puck lights, but they also came with a little remote, so that I don't have to open the little door all the time every time I want to turn them on. Let's see, do they work? Yeah. So that's fun. So I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to attach these inside and make it like a cool overhead lighting situation. I have an idea of how I want to do this, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Wish me luck. Hello everybody, I am obviously wrapping presents right now. I just wanted to come here and do a little chatting while I do this. Today has been a jolly good day of consuming media for me. This morning I read a very good piece on The Cut by Molly Fisher, whom I stan, about J.K. Rowling and how her role and place in public opinion has changed over the last few years. She talked to some right-wing people over in North America who have basically gotten really excited about J.K. Rowling because now, like, they're backed up in their terrible anti-trans beliefs, and just basically showing how her words and actions really do have tangible and real harm. I also this morning watched an amazing vlog from Stephanie Bookish, which I will also leave below, in which she reread some of her childhood favorites, and it was just so cute and charming. She's a really awesome personality. I really like the vibe of her videos, and she always comes up with something creative, and this one was just really cute. She read some of the bits out loud. I don't know, it was just really, really good. It made me smile. It's kind of long, but if you aren't familiar with Stephanie's content and you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. I also spent some time watching all of the Christmas episodes of Community. They're just so good, and if you've never seen an episode of Community, I think that you can watch those episodes and like still like get a good idea of what the deal is with the show. I also have gotten about halfway through the audiobook of Clariel, and I am really loving it. I think I might even like it more than the original 3 books. It's very, very different. Those 3 are all pretty heavy on the like magical creature battles, and this one so far has been pretty much all personal conflict and political intrigue, which is really interesting because to my memory, I'm not sure the original books have any politics in them at all, and honestly that's my favorite thing in fantasy. I know a lot of people do not feel the same way. In Clariel, the king has basically just like gotten sick of being the king and has just kind of stopped doing anything. So the rest of the city has kind of come up with new ways of governing themselves, and the richest people in the city have risen to the top and left a lot of people struggling at the bottom. And it is pretty explicitly critical of capitalism, which is cool. I think a lot of fantasy tends to default to capitalism and representative democracy, which like a lot of times doesn't fully make sense in these worlds if you think about it. But it's just because we assume that is like the default of a like evolved society. It's just been really interesting to see Garth Nix do something different in the Old Kingdom. I'm taking way too long to wrap these presents because I'm chit-chatting, so I'm gonna shut up, put Community back on, and just like, you feel me? Okay, cool. Merry Christmas Eve! When I was younger, I used to like Christmas Eve even more than Christmas Day because it was when we did our big family thing. But obviously, as everyone's gotten older and moved farther apart, it's been harder and harder to pin everyone down. Obviously, this year, it wasn't safe to gather, so we haven't done that. I have been spending the day doing God knows what. Let me turn on another light. Boop, 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 boop. I am currently baking a lemon meringue pie for tomorrow. I know that lemon meringue isn't exactly what we think of as like a Christmas pie, but it is the only thing I had all the ingredients for. So I just decided to try it. I'm pretty nervous. I've never made a meringue before. this could go terribly. And I'm also watching Meet Me in St. Louis. And it's a movie that I don't love, but also I kind of do, if that makes sense. Throughout the day today, I've kind of come to the realization that I'm not going to finish my room today or tomorrow. I don't know how I thought that I could take on this project and finish it in 25 days, even though it's like kind of a modest project. But, you know, while juggling weekly vlogging, which for me is a big undertaking, and also, like somebody pointed out in a very nice Twitter thread, Christmas is kind of a part-time job. I've been doing a lot for the sake of like the festive feeling. So yeah, I think it's just not gonna happen, unfortunately. And I'm just gonna try not to feel too bad about that. I hope you weren't counting on it too much, but you know what? There will be future vlogs and I'll be able to put like before and afters in there. I'm going to continue my pie whilst listening to Last Christmas by Wham on repeat. Enjoy. Well, actually, you can't enjoy the song because it's not allowed, but if you want the full effect of what's going on in my life, you can play it in your private home while I play it in my private home. I forgot to chill my pie crust before blind baking it, so it's looking a little sad, but that's okay. It will still taste good. I've got a fun Christmas fact for you. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas was written for the film Meet Me in St. Louis. Judy Garland's character sings it to her 5 or 6-year-old sister, but originally the song included the lyric, "Have yourself a merry little Christmas, it could be our last. Next year, we may all be living in the past." And Judy Garland said, "No, that lyric is too sad and I'm not singing it." So they changed it to, "Next year we may all be together if the fates allow," or whatever it is. Thanks, Judy Garland, for that and for everything else. Okay, I'm filming. In case it's not clear what's happening here, I'm doing that thing they do on Bake Off where they make a meringue and then they hold it above their head to see if it's whipped enough. So, yeah. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
I made a meringue. Happy Christmas morning from me and my son.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, it's snowing. I'm so excited. I'm gonna cry. It's snowing on Christmas Day. Oh my god. Sorry, this is just too much for me. Well, folks, that's all for me this year. I hope you managed to find some joy this holiday season. Thank you all for supporting my channel this year. It's truly been such a bright spot in 2020. I'll see you in January. Happy New Year. Imagine like a big Viggo Mortensen stuffed animal.